Hey guys, Thetcglover here. How are we doing today? So I've got a question for you. What does Benedict Junk, Long Dao, and Cancer have in common? Cleaforts. So today we're going to be talking about the Cleafort deck that Benedict Junk and Long Dao played at Euros this weekend. And as you can see here, basically the deck focuses on using Wavering Eyes as well as any two pendulums to go and search for any Cleafort Scout or Monolith, depending on which one you don't have. And then you basically search for towers using the Scout, you summon 3 different pendulums, and you summon towers. And then you instantly win the game from there. Now, Wavering Eye is a really cool little card that we got from the special edition for Cross Souls, and that allows you to destroy 2 pendulum archers, as many pendulums as possible, and then you can apply different effects based on the how many pendulums were destroyed. So if you only destroy your ones, you can actually add a pendulum monster from your deck to your hand after destroying 2 of them. So you basically put into the pendulum scales any 2 Cleaforts except for Scout and Monolith, and you destroy them using Wavering Eyes, search for the Scout, and then Scout allows you to go and search for Monolith, allows you to go and search for towers, anything that you don't have depending on your hand. So in this case, I basically just pushed through with towers, and there was no way that they were going to get over it except for Moon Mirror Shield, but of course I had a really easy way to get through it. So in their decks, they actually ran 2 towers. I thought originally that was a really stupid idea. I was thinking, like, 1 towers is already cancerous enough and overkill, so why would having a second one do anything different? So you can see here, summon towers, easy, take a card out of their hand, draw 3. Super simple stuff. So I thought, why was the second one relevant? And it turns out that actually now and again they do actually get over it, and the fact that towers can send something to the graveyard once per turn means that if they do get over it using a monster, you can actually summon the second towers, do the whole thing again, and then they can't actually out it again because you've already got rid of their out. So in that sense, Cleafort Towers is actually incredibly strong, and having double of them means that you can send 2 monsters to the graveyard. And he used Performer Power Call, it didn't work because my monster's unaffected, and so because I have double towers, I was about to draw 3 more cards and I would have gone up to 7 cards in hand because of Monolith. So really unfair. So I got 5 different replays for you. I've already shown you a couple of them. So basically the deck does exactly the same thing every time. Now this deck also has a benefit of in this format, a lot of people opt to go second because they don't want to not want to OTK you, or at least dominate the board with card advantage, because going second means you get an extra card. So being able to have a more consistent first turn, as well as being able to destroy your opponent's stuff, it's like, why wouldn't you go second? So this deck thrives off the fact that not many people are maining MST anymore. They put them in the side deck, so your game 1 is incredible. And it also means that you're able to set up towers first turn and your opponent can't actually out it because they decide to go second. So if they actually set up their field first, they may have actually had a way to get through it. So being able to stop Cleafort Scout is always going to be the name of the game. And of course he's doing the Seraph combo here, but really there's nothing he can do, because even if he were to out it, I can just go and get another one using the Scout that's in. So he's trying to like rip cards out and stuff like that, but there's not much he can do. So he sets bottomless here, and I know that I can't over pendulum here, so I only just summon 1 and I go into kill. You know? And then I activate Tower's second effect to make sure I can rip the monster out of his hand. Of course, if he doesn't have a monster in his hand and there's no monsters at all, I can check his hand to see if he actually has one or not. So that's pretty sweet. At this point he scoops because all my monsters that are summoned are 500 points less because of Cleafort Towers. So as you can see here, it's really unfair. Like, it's just like I played this deck about 20 times and I didn't lose a single game, because obviously when you play a single game, this deck has a huge advantage of not having to deal with side cards. But the deck itself is incredible. I mean, I can understand why Benedict Junk managed to top with it, because the deck is just outright ridiculous. I mean, I'm playing a meta deck here, I'm playing Seraph Shadows, so it's actually got some relevance to it. But yeah, I just thought, screw it, I'll just go in and do it anyway, do my crap. So I sacrificed here, tribute for towers, bounce back the yeah. So it's just stupid. I shouldn't have searched the Scout, but I did anyway because I completely forgot about Into the Void. But you know what, it doesn't really matter because I've already got towers. At this point he's just playing around, not much he can do. He has to go into summoning Star Eater, but he can't because I took away his construct. So I use Wavering Eyes here to search for Scout, and then I go and summon Monolith, and then I activate its effect, or pendulum effect, to dominate the board with loads of monsters, and I want to make sure that I can bait out as many of those effects as possible and attack with everything else. And I use towers to check his hand to see if he has any monsters in it, and he didn't at the time. So he dark holes, and of course it doesn't do anything against pendulums. So as you can see, there's a kind of recurring theme going on here where my opponent tries to get out of it and then he realizes he can't, and then he instantly scoops and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's kind of like sick in its own little way. It's really sick, and it's like I'm opening up crap, yet I'm still winning. That's the thing. So he does speed voids, and I'm actually very interested by speed voids. Very cool. But all this little kind of cool little speed voidy stuff he's doing, it doesn't do anything for me because I can just Wavering Eyes for game every single time, and then search for Monolith, Scout, activate Scout, search for any card. I got a second Towers because I knew that I could summon it. So I tribute all three, summon Towers, activate its effects, send Dharmas to the grave, and attack him for 3,000. And draw 3 off Monolith. I mean, it's so ridiculously strong, and it's completely retarded. I've watched so many duels of this on DevPro, and I've watched it on Dueling Network, and it's just shocking how unfair it is. It's not even super consistent. It's just that you get out towers, and if the opponent can't out the towers, then you win. It's a card that just is so powerful, and this is exactly what people feared when towers came out. Of course, this deck could have been built ages ago, but Wavering Eyes finally pushed it over the edge, and it actually gave the deck exactly what it needed. So as you can see, most of my duels actually end on turn 3 because the first turn Cleafort Towers generally does mean game. So I go and search for all the pieces I need. I pay 800 to get towers, I Monolith, I summon my Scout, Helix, and Shell to summon towers. You don't activate the carrier though, that's for sure, because then you have to return your towers back to your hand, which is kind of unfair, I believe, anyway. So thing is here, this is the only matchup here, quick pause, this is the only matchup in the whole game where, well, not the only one, but this is the only one where they have a consistent out to it, and yet he didn't have the out. He should have searched Jersey through maybe summoning penalty box or something like that. He could have survived a little bit longer, but he didn't. So he didn't have a way to get to Jersey, but if he did, he would have been able to push through it. However, if he didn't actually kill me, he wouldn't have been able to keep that going because I would have been able to summon a second towers and then allowed myself to take out the monster in this field anyway. So yeah, there you go, double towers. That's fair, isn't it, guys? So yeah, if you want to check out the deck profile, I'm just going to show you it right now quickly. So this is basically Benedict Junk's Cleafort deck. If you actually want to see a actual visual, real-life deck profile of his deck at the time of the event, please check out Lithium 2300's YouTube channel. Of course, you probably know who he is. He's quite well known in the Europe competitive scene. So if you want to go and see that, definitely go and check out his channel. I'm not going to link you to it. You may as well go and search it up. But Benedict Junk's Cleafort deck will be on there. But if you actually just want to see the quick list, it has 3 Monolith, 2 Scout, 2 Towers, 3 Stealth, all the basically 3 of every Cleafort that is played. Basically, 1 Denko Sekka, which actually does come in handy quite often because it allows you to do things even if you have pendulums on the field. 1 Dead Piece, he said he might change it for something else. He's got for 3 Upstart Goblin, 3 Into the Void, which is for consistency issues. Wavering Eyes, which is one of the MVPs of the deck, Sacrifice because it's at 1, Summoners Art, and then he's basically got an extra deck full of stuff, and he doesn't really never need to go into this stuff as you would expect with Cleafort, but it's nice to have a full-on extra deck anyway, just in case. His side deck is pretty random, you know, but it's obviously because we're reaching the end of the format now, we're going to have a new ban list. This is basically an irrelevant side deck, but at the time it was probably quite useful for him, especially the Royal Decrees. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching. Pretty cancerous deck, very interesting. I hope it doesn't become a trend, but if it is a trend, then definitely prepare for Cleafort Towers, and maybe the surprise factor will go, people will start maining MSTs again, blah blah blah. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, the Thetcglover is out.